A 4-day work week. It's not a new concept, but it's gaining more traction these days. The pandemic has changed a lot about how we work, not just whether it's in person or remote, but how much we do it. In 1940, more than 80 years ago, Congress formalized the 40-hour work week. It grew out of research done by automaker Henry Ford, who found that working more doesn't necessarily produce more. But America hasn't really followed that advice. Research shows that people have been working more than 40 hours. Now, as jobs remain unfilled and workers seek more work-life balance, one researcher thinks it's time we reimagine work. Juliet Schor is an economist and professor of sociology at Boston College. So, Professor Schor, tell me a little bit about your study. Who was involved, how many companies, and kind of what was your strategy in your research?
We had 33 companies from the United States, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. 903 employees who were part of the study. The companies that we're talking about gave people a full day off, and they didn't reduce their pay. We didn't look directly at profits, but revenue performed really well. Compared to the previous year, the same 6 months, it went up by 38%. And over the period of the trial, by more than a percentage point a month.
The research shows that people are as productive in 4 days as they are in 5 days. Why do you think that is?
I think the ability to be more productive is due to two things. The first is that before companies started these 4-day week trials, they figured out what are the things we're doing that aren't adding value. Meetings are a big dimension of that. The other is that there are big well-being effects for people. They're less stressed, less burned out, less anxious, happier, and that makes them more productive.
There are critics, as I'm sure you're well aware, who say, hey, listen, we're in labor shortage right now. So if anything, people should be working more hours.
The very first company that came into the trial had a mass exodus in June of 2021, and they just decided in August they're going to a 4-day week, and they've had a fantastic experience. Part of the reason that we're seeing companies move to 4-day weeks is it is a way to attract people. And I think the other really important piece here is we have so much new technology coming into the workplace. And so it does allow employers to offer these 4-day weeks because the technology makes people more productive.
I was surprised to see that this was not a new idea. Why has it taken so long to really be tested and maybe embraced?
I wrote a book in 1992 called The Overworked America, The Unexpected Decline of Leisure. And at that time, there was a lot of sentiment for reducing work hours. Automation was going to free us up from doing so much work. But not too much long afterwards, we got into a sort of austerity and scarcity mindset, and inequality increased so much. So we had a pendulum swing away from the idea that we should be using productivity growth to give ourselves some more free time. And the pandemic is what sort of upended that.
Do you think then, if we are to redo this interview 5 years from now, that you will see a massive uptake of this? Because I think it is stressful, and I think it's hard for all the employees, myself included, right, to get everything done that you need to do, especially if you have a family and kids and a commute, et cetera, et cetera.
I do think that 5 years from now, there are going to be many more companies who are offering 4-day weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some legislation that had passed in some states.
Professor Juliet Schor is a professor at Boston College. It's nice to talk to you. Thank you.
My pleasure.